Hello, my name is Wu Wenling. I was born on April 5th, 2006, in my homeland, Taiping Province. It is home to the large fields of rice, the infinite ocean of Ziemho, and tens of thousands of kind and passionate farmers. I was only 4 years old when I left my hometown to stay in Hanoi, so I didn't have many childhood memories, or I may have forgotten them throughout the years. I was born into a family of five who both of my parents were doctors, my grandmother used to be a nurse, and my older brother is also now a medical student. Well, I consider myself as an adaptable, creative, and outgoing person, I think. I love new things and might be a little bit scared to try them at first, but that never means I won't. Um, I think I have quite a sense of humor, and I love going to the gym, I love jogging, doing exercises with my friends, but I don't think I'm that good at sports. But one thing that I know that I always will always love is music. I used to listen to these revolutionary songs that my parents turned on in each of our road trips. And when I grew up, I started listening to pop, US UK, EDM, and then jazz, which somehow makes me a little bit weird of a person, but yeah. And I also take up singing and beatboxing. Like, I really don't know how to do a riff, but I guess. And I took up singing lessons for like a month ago, and I significantly improved after that. So hopefully, I'm a good singer. And I also have this weird habit, no, a weird hobby of speed cubing. That is to solve the Rubik's cubes or any of its variants, like the 4x4, the 5x5, quickly. It may go something like this. Just scramble it up, solve it. Um, yeah, something like that. Fun thing, I took up the hobby alongside my older brother, and during his prime time, he could consistently solve the cube in under 10 seconds. Um, you know, my brother and I get along really well with each other. We share the same hobbies, like music tastes, and even the same life goals to become doctors. But unlike me, my brother lives a much more unfortunate life, and it really shows when during March 2021 he was diagnosed with a brain tumor. And yes, believe me, believe it or not, this will end as one of my, no, our most memorable moments. Story time. So, during a family party in March 2021, while I was cracking up jokes, somehow our family noticed a crooked smile on my brother's face. And at first, everyone thought it was some sort of nerve palsy that it would just come and go. But my mother sensed something was wrong. So after an MRI, the pictures showed a huge, like a larger than a Vietnamese lemon sized tumor on the back of his head. So for the next 2 years, yes, during COVID, for 2022 and 2023, my brother stayed in 108 Military Hospital, going through chemo, radio, and all sorts of surgeries going on in his head and his spinal cord. And while all of that was happening, all I could do was just sit at home and hopelessly pray because I couldn't do much. Well, it wasn't until 2023 that, for one night, I just wandered upstairs on a random summer night to check on my parents. And I saw them attempting to translate some sort of international documents for my brother's case. And I offered a hand because all they were doing was just putting them through Google Translate. And it turned out when they gave it to me, I could read most of the files and explain it to them. And somehow my mom just joked about letting me translate for the upcoming consultation meetings that we were going to have in Singapore, but I wasn't kidding. So I took all the documents downstairs and I gave it a deep read. So Um, so when the meetings came, uh, we had this 2 hour meeting with a pediatrician called Lele Ong, and I was the one translating from start to finish of the meeting. And it turns out we may have misdiagnosed the tumor, as Viduk Hospital called it a medulloblastoma, when Singapore and all of the documents that we used to have from Harvard and Sydney that examined his tumor slides said that it might be not a medulloblastoma, but rather an Ewing sarcoma. And somehow, because in both of its regimens, they share two of the same chemicals, the same drugs that can be used to attack the tumor. So it somehow worked, but it didn't work like terminally. So we further discussed the true diagnosis, and we also knew a few ways to tackle the tumor truly, like putting him under another session of chemo radio, or we can have another physical surgery. Um, but yeah, by the end of the meeting, we were all so happy to truly know that whatever he was going on inside his head is now truly diagnosed. So it was one of those meetings where you have very low hopes for, but it turned your life completely around afterwards. So there we were, walking out of the Icon Cancer Center in Mount Alvernia. It's so hard though. Mount Alvernia Hospital in Singapore, with my mom feeling joy after 3 long years, and my brother in disbelief, and me just standing still with a huge sense of achievement. It was at that point that we actually found the solution to help my brother. So, for the next 2 days, like I said, we learned more about this method called BrainPath. The surgical tool would help remove the residual tumor that was sitting in his head, but it does come with like 5 to 6% of risks. And 2 months after that, when all of the appointments were done, I sent them through and put together an appointment summary. I put together another history of pathological history. Sorry, again. So for the next 2 days, like I said, we learned more about BrainPath. This surgical tool would help remove the residual tumor in his head. And 2 months after that, when all of the appointments were done, I was tasked to put together an appointment summary and a pathological history of his case, and gather a few documents about the MRI, the PET scans for his tumor, and put all of them in a PowerPoint slide. And at first I didn't know why. My mom just told me to do it, so why wouldn't I disobey? But then we have this final appointment in Viduk Hospital again, but this time we have all sorts of experts and another expert from Australia. So the day I was going with my brother and my mom, we entered the room, and in front of us were like dozens of doctors standing around the screen with the professor, and they were all discussing what was on the screen, which was my PowerPoint. And turns out we did such a great job that we don't have to do anything more. So currently, my brother is in a completely stable condition. We only have to take like MRI scans every now and then, and he's living a very awesome life right now. He went back to school and he's nailing on his grades. And for me, I'm here. I'm here after all of that sense of achievement, and turns out seeing all of my work helping my brother is such a joy that I sure won't be able to see happening again in the future, I think. Great, so what happened next? My realization of my true passion being medical research and clinical work that soon led me to side with VinUni during my university hunt. I grew up with the initial dream of being a doctor after seeing my parents' work, their achievements, and most importantly, the joy of their patients after all of their cases were resolved. I started my application for VinUni at the beginning of 2023. I started applying for my first projects, I joined my first voluntary activities, and I had my first internship at a lab in HMU. Yes, all those experiences changed me because I thought of them as irremovable changes for my personality and my viewpoints, and also because I thought of VinUni as easily one of the top universities in medicine. And I told myself this would be my dream school, and I saw the environment, the international syllabus, all of the efforts that Mr. Wilt poured in to ensure a foundation of global Vietnamese students soon become global citizens. And then I feel like this would be a great chance for me to begin a new journey with a new self and to try new things. And now that I'm here, I wish to seize the future opportunities, make new friends, connections, and embark on new adventures throughout my 6 tiring but hopefully fruitful years. But of course, I can't just learn about medicine. Cliche as it is, I'm a global citizen, and that requires me to learn important aspects of this world. So, entering scientific socialism, politics, and social change, I wish to, of course, learn more about politics, something I've always wished to know more about. And then I want to use that as a comprehensive grasp for me to start reaching for knowing how people manage the world and operate them sustainably. And because I haven't known that much about politics, that's all far I can say right now. But yeah, I think it has come to an end, my self introduction. Thank you for listening, and have a good day.